Kumbhaka, or breath retention, stands as the deceptively simple yet profound transformative core of Kriya Yoga, often misunderstood as a mere physical exercise, when in fact it is the gateway to transcendent consciousness. While Kriya Pranayama is the dynamic technique used to charge the life force along the spine, the ultimate purpose of this action is to induce Kevala Kumbhaka, the effortless, spontaneous cessation of breath that heralds a state of absolute stillness. This stillness, known as Paravastha, is where the mind, no longer agitated by the respiratory cycle, is fully internalized, allowing the practitioner to experience the deeper states of dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, proving Kumbhaka to be the pinnacle of the practices of Kriya Yoga. If the Kriya Yogi falls to correctly transition into this profound stillness, treating it as a physiological effort rather than a sacred cessation of all doing, they risk blocking the ascent of the awakened Kundalini and perpetually missing the ephemeral liberating window of Paravastha, thus arresting their spiritual growth at the very precipice of divine realization. Welcome to the Kriya Yoga of Lahiri Mahasaya, Lesson 3, Kumbhaka, Mastery of Breathlessness. Kumbhaka in yoga is the practice of breath retention or the deliberate cessation of breathing. It is a fundamental component of pranayama, control of the life force, which is the fourth limb of Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. In essence, Kumbhaka is the state where the breath is suspended, allowing for the prana, the life force, to be stabilized and directed internally, which subsequently calms the mind. There are two main types of Kumbhaka: Sahita Kumbhaka, effortful retention. Sahita means accompanied by or with effort. This is the conscious and voluntary retention of breath, typically practiced in time cycles. The purpose of Sahita Kumbhaka is a preparatory technique used to extend breath capacity, increase internal heat, and to purify the nadis, the energy channels, and stabilize the prana. It is an active exercise that prepares the practitioner for deeper states. Number 2, Kevala Kumbhaka, effortless stillness. Kevala means soul, pure, or absolute. This is a spontaneous and effortless cessation of both inhalation and exhalation. It's not a technique, but rather a result of a state achieved when the nadis, energy channels, and prana are completely purified and stabilized. The practitioner has no urge or necessity to breathe. In many traditions, including Kriya Yoga, Kevala Kumbhaka is considered the highest form of pranayama and is a direct gateway to samadhi, superconsciousness, as the stillness of the breath ensures the complete stillness of the mind. The importance of Kumbhaka stems from the yogic principle that the movement of the breath is intrinsically linked to the movement of the mind. By temporarily stopping the physical breath, the practice arrests the restless energy of the mind. This allows the practitioner to focus inward without distraction. During breath retention, the prana is prevented from dissipating through the external breath cycle. This allows the energy to be concentrated and directed into the central channel, the Sushumna Nadi, facilitating the awakening of the Kundalini. The ultimate goal of all pranayama techniques is to master the breath to such an extent that the breath itself becomes permanently tranquil in the state of Kevala Kumbhaka. In chapter 29, verse 4 of the Bhagavad Gita, it says, "Still others offer the outgoing breath, prana, into the incoming breath, apana, and the incoming breath into the outgoing breath. Others, restraining the course of the outgoing and incoming breaths, are solely devoted to breath control, pranayama." Although the word Kumbhaka is itself not explicitly used in this passage, the phrase restraining the course of the outgoing and incoming breaths is interpreted by commentators as the practice of Kumbhaka, breath retention. Offering prana into apana, this is interpreted as richaka, exhalation, leading to antara Kumbhaka, the inner retention. Offering apana into prana, this is interpreted as puraka, inhalation, leading to Bahaya Kumbhaka, outer retention. Restraining both refers to the act of holding the breath, which is the definition of Kumbhaka, often leading to the spontaneous, effortless breath suspension, Kevala Kumbhaka. Yogiraj Lahiri Baba, the modern founder of Kriya Yoga, comments on this Gita verse as follows: the Kriya of Omkar, pulling and throwing of the breath, pran sacrifice by the pran, the Kriya, or act of pushing. Bhupendranath Sanyal, one of Lahiri Baba's direct disciples and the author of the Spiritual Gita, comments on the Master's commentary. Kriya's Paravastha is obtained when the Chit, inner self, is obstructed from the world. The main aim of Kriya is to achieve the Paravastha of Kriya. In this text, the Lord has talked about this Kriya, as all aspects of sadhana mainly depend on pranayama and kumbhaka, a Kriya, and kumbhaka itself is done by the help of pranayam. Here we shall talk about pranayam as see how it is the main source or way to God realization. This Gita verse thus highlights the crucial role of breath control and its resultant stillness, Kumbhaka, as a profound inner spiritual sacrifice, yajna, leading to the purification of mind and eventually liberation. According to texts like the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, when Kevala Kumbhaka is achieved, the prana, the life force, has been completely withdrawn from the periphery of the body and internalized into the central channel, the Sushumna Nadi. This withdrawal stops the movement of the breath and consequently the movement of the mind. The Hatha Yoga Pradipika declares, when one has mastered Sahita Kumbhaka, then without Puraka, inhalation, and Richaka, exhalation, one can easily achieve Kevala Kumbhaka. It is considered a pivotal state for achieving Raja Yoga, the royal path of yoga. The natural stillness of Kevala Kumbhaka is often considered a direct precursor to, or even a temporary form of samadhi, superconscious union. The mind, no longer agitated by the breath, is completely stilled and merges with the object of meditation. In Kriya Yoga, Kevala Kumbhaka is the ultimate sign of progress, often called the tranquil breath or the state of Paravastha, the after effect state. Kriya Pranayama is designed as a Sahita with effort technique whose sole purpose is to systematically purify the body and subtle energy until the breath automatically shifts into the Kevala state. The Kriya technique is designed to circulate and intensify prana, life force, in the spine, burning up impurities, karmic and energetic, and calming the nervous system. This process prepares the body and mind to sustain the motionless, breathless state. By focusing the breath current internally in the chakras and spine, Kriya gradually detaches the prana from the gross lung function. This reduced dependency on physical breathing makes the breath naturally slow down, becoming subtle and finally still. The most important application of Kumbhaka is in Paravastha, the state immediately following the structured Kriya practice. It is here that the breath often spontaneously pauses, and the sadhaka, the spiritual aspirant, is instructed to simply observe this natural stillness without interference, allowing the coiling kundalini energy to ascend. The natural cessation of breath, or sthira, stills the mind, chitta vritti nirodha, leading directly to the higher states of dharana, internalized concentration, dhyana, absorption, and ultimately samadhi, superconscious union. Yogiraj Lahiri Baba taught, now always remain in Kumbhaka. This instruction is not a command to physically hold the breath forever. Instead, it refers to the state of Kevala Kumbhaka, effortless breathlessness. This is an instruction to the Kriya Yogi to abide in stillness. In other words, to maintain the internal state of tranquility, achieved when the breath becomes naturally still after Kriya practice, and to make the breathlessness meditative state a continuous awareness throughout all daily activities. Lahiri Baba taught that Omkar, Om, is the direct object of meditation to be experienced and realized during the tranquil state of Kumbhaka. breathlessness. In the Kriya Yoga tradition, Omkar is not merely a chanted syllable, but the primordial cosmic sound or vibration, nada, that is heard internally when the mind is stilled. Lahiri Baba emphasized that true Kumbhaka, specifically Kevala Kumbhaka, or effortless stillness, leads directly to the experience of Omkar. Once the Kriya Pranayama practice has induced the stillness of the breath, the external world and sounds fade. In this tranquil state of Kumbhaka, the practitioner's awareness shifts inward, allowing them to perceive the vibration of Om emanating from the higher centers. Lahiri Baba taught his disciples that Omkar is the highest form of the divine that can be directly experienced by the senses. He stated that one should continuously hear the sound of Om, recognizing that this inner sound is the direct manifestation of Ishta Devata, the chosen ideal or deity. The instruction to listen to Omkar during Kumbhaka means that the yogi should merge their consciousness with this divine vibration. In Kriya Yoga, the practice of Yoni mudra is used to support the withdrawal of the senses and for experiencing the inner spiritual phenomena of light, yoti, and sound, om or nada. Yoni mudra is similar to the Shan Mukti mudra, the six-gate seal, where one uses the fingers to close the gates of the senses on the face, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and the ears. This sensory withdrawal, pratyahara, is performed during the motionless state of Kumbhaka to block external noises, making the subtle internal Omkar vibration audible. By concentrating the mind within the darkness created by closing the eyes, the Kriyaban becomes aware of the spiritual eye, the kutastha, a sphere of light often described as a dark center encircled by a golden ring. With the ears sealed by the thumbs, the practitioner can more easily hear the cosmic sound of Om or various other inner mystical sounds, which is the primordial creative vibration. This leads to the following sequence. Kriya Pranayama brings the body into a low idle state of pratyahara, internalization. Kumbhaka stills the breath and the mind. Yoni mudra blocks the external distractions. Omkar is heard and realized, which can lead directly to samadhi. In summary, Kumbhaka or breath retention is the profound transformative core of Kriya Yoga, serving as the essential gateway to higher consciousness. It is not merely a physical breathing exercise, but a critical step for achieving liberation. While Kriya Pranayama is the dynamic technique used to charge the life force, its ultimate purpose is to induce Kevala Kumbhaka, the state of absolute stillness or Paravastha, where the mind is fully tranquil and ready for deeper states like samadhi. The centrality of Kumbhaka lies in the yogic principle that the cessation of breath directly arrests the restless movement of the mind. By stopping the external breath cycle, the vital energy prana is concentrated and directed into the central spinal channel, the Sushumna Nadi, facilitating the awakening of Kundalini. The ultimate instruction from Yogiraj Lahiri Baba, always remain in Kumbhaka, refers to abiding in the continuous effortless stillness of Kevala Kumbhaka. This tranquil state is also the prerequisite for experiencing the primordial cosmic sound of Omkar, which can be listened to with the aid of practices like Yoni mudra. This final stillness is the mechanism by which the mind is fully liberated from its agitation, and the awakened prana can ascend for divine realization, making the mastery of breathlessness synonymous with the achievement of spiritual freedom and union with the inner ever-present Omkar vibration. So if you have any questions about this video, feel free to send me an email at info@modernkriya.com. Also check our website at modernkriya.com and our YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.